Ever get confused when you're at a bus stop you're not familiar with? Like, the bus stop says 119 Metrotown, but how does it get there? How long does it take? When does my bus actually get to that stop? I hear people complain about this all the time. TransLink, Metro Vancouver's transit authority, doesn't want to fix it, mainly because it's too expensive. But I'm here to change that. My name is Owen Robinson, and for my capstone project, I will be overhauling bus stops around Vancouver to make them easier to navigate and read. This is not an easy undertaking, and it will take a long time to research how people read current bus stops and what I can change about them to make them better. So, this started all the way back in the summer of 2018. I was at a bus stop at Surrey Central, and I needed to get to Guildford. Now, this was before I became some sort of a transit nerd. I know, it's weird, just bear with me. Usually, most of you would take the R1 King George Boulevard Rapid Bus, or then called the 96B line. I didn't know that existed at the time. The R1 provides a direct route from Newton Exchange to Surrey Central and Guildford via King George Boulevard and 104th Avenue. Now, several buses from Surrey Central terminate at Guildford Exchange, like the 326. Then, there was this bus called the 373. It was leaving the soonest, so me being the stupid person I am, I took the 373 without knowing where I was actually going. Taking the 373 was the biggest mistake I had ever made. The 373 travels through the Grosvenor area and takes 41 minutes. I repeat, 41 minutes to get to Guildford. The R1 takes 15 minutes or less. This was all because the bus stop didn't tell me where I was actually going. Eventually, after that, I started getting interested in transit, and I learned how to understand where I was going. Now, not everybody has that skill. We have apps like Transit and Google Maps to assist us, but sometimes these aren't accurate. What if you don't have data or a stable internet connection to check these apps? What if you're maybe a tourist visiting Vancouver or a new citizen? I thought I could make it better. I was going to design easier bus stops with interactive diagrams and real-time bus info. Then, someone stole my idea. Well, stole is a bit strong, I guess. A fellow UX designer by the name of Uite Lee designed an easier bus stop design. He did a really good job of showing where the routes went and making it really clear which route was which. I wanted to go a step further. I decided I would focus on tourist-heavy routes and routes that went to large attractions, like Science World, the University of British Columbia, Stanley Park, and Granville Island. First, I decided to conduct some research in different cities. I decided on Bellingham, Washington, a town with a small transit system, and San Antonio, Texas, with a very popular, very high ridership transit system. I decided to take a look at the Bellis Fair Mall bus stop in Bellingham, Washington. This stop services the 15, the 331, and the Gold Line. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, this sucks. Like, this is absolutely terrible. Bellingham uses a terrible wayfinding system where it's literally only a timetable that shows you like when the buses are coming. Like, what if you're a tourist? Like, what if you're me? I don't live in Bellingham. This is so super. I decided to just leave and not use anything that was on that bus stop. It's just terrible. After calming down after getting worked up in Bellingham, I moved on to San Antonio, Texas.
So really quick before I continue, I had a trip planned for San Antonio, and I wasn't able to make it due to the coronavirus. So the clips from San Antonio from here on forward are all from either YouTube or Google Street View. Back to the video.
VIA, San Antonio's transit authority, has a very simplistic design, featuring large numbers indicating routes, bright colors, and text information. San Antonio bus stops feature something that Bellingham's bus stops lack: text real-time information. You text your bus stop number to a certain number, and it tells you when the next 4 buses arrive at your stop along with their estimated arrival times. The route I decided I was going to overhaul in Vancouver is the 50. The 50 travels from downtown Vancouver at Kiefer Place and Taylor Street to Granville Island via South Falls Creek. Statistics have proven this to be a tourist-heavy route, with over 2 million people taking the route in 2018. An estimated 75% of those riders are tourists. However, I've asked multiple people who are new to our city They have no clue where to get on the bus to go to Granville Island or where to get off at Granville Island. I felt like I finally had the information that I needed to make my own bus stop. I went home and decided to create some mock-ups in Adobe XD. Adobe XD is a popular UX design program used by app developers and web developers. These stops have 6 vital elements: the bus stop number, the T logo, a map of where the buses go and the area around them, a route diagram, a QR code providing an accurate timetable provided by sorrybusfull.com, and another QR code linking to TCOM. For those who don't know, TCOM is developed by a fellow transit geek, Dennis Sang. It uses the onboard GPS on each bus to track where they are and how late or early they are. It also provides information about what type of bus it is, which is really only interesting to me and literally no one else. It is also proven to be so successful that bus operators often use it to track the next bus that they are assigned to. I'm at stop 58661 with a copy of my sign that I made. It is printed on standard paper and then glued with adhesive to a sheet of chloroplast. The next couple of clips are a showcase of how it actually looks in the public. I was presented with some questions. What did you learn from completing this capstone? I learned that a lot goes into making bus stops, and research for what you should put in is quite intensive. Why was it important for you to learn this information or skill? Design like this is a huge part of the career I plan on going into, user experience design, or UX for short. I felt like it was also important to go out in the community to further benefit their days by adding more information and somewhat of an easier process in performing their commute. What did you learn about yourself when completing the capstone? Something that I learned about myself during the making of this project is that when you are focused on something enough, you will not stop trying to perfect it. And that is what I did. After asking others for feedback, they suggested certain elements and I perfected them within the process. What are the new skills on information that you now have that you did not prior to the capstone? I have more design skills, I think. The feedback that I greatly benefited from other designers really changed the way that I looked at my project. I also have an easier time exporting information into a design project. What were you most proud of within the capstone project? My proudest moment was when I finally applied the sign to the pole. It's a weird feeling seeing your design out there in the public for everybody to see. What do you wish you would have changed or done better within your project? I want to go back and design these for more stops. I feel like one stop just isn't enough to get my message across. What is some advice you would give to students who are completing capstones in the coming years? Some advice I would give to other students is to work super hard in this project because it really does pay off in the end. About a week later, my friend Alan Canopia was in the area of where I put the sign. I asked him to go down and see if it was still there, and lucky for me, it still was.